Expansion.
David Icke, I think who seems to coin a lot of phrases and terms, like the problem reaction solution thing, which is the Hegelian dialectic. Or you guys can look this up at home. But the thing we have with all these people who are not seeing the bigger picture is they're basing, like on COVID, for example, they're basing their opinions on sources of knowledge which are this big, and we live in a world that's compartmentalized and managed in compartments, and that's how they work. I mean, a doctor may know a shitload about what drugs to give you, but he may not know a lot about the cutting edge nutrition, or he may not know about how quantum physics is proving that we are all light, and what religions have been saying for thousands of years. It's almost like in order to see the bigger picture, you need to see the bigger picture. You need to zoom out and go, hold on, okay, cool. This thing ties in with this thing, and ties in with this thing, and ties in with this thing. And I think what's happening is because these dark forces have had to push their hand, that they've had to make their move, because we are in times of spiritual ascension.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? We're on our way back to the golden age. And that's why even Jesus, there's a lot of parables between what Jesus said and the end of ages and the Mayan calendar and all these things, right, that are in conjunction, which again, when you look at the bigger picture, in my opinion, humble opinion, they all working together. A lot of these people are not seeing that bigger picture, and these dark forces, with all of these protests and riots and enlightenment and people returning to the faith and coming back to source and unbecoming who we are not, which is something my shaman from the ayahuasca side speaks a lot about. They've had to do what they're doing now, which is they need to quash and suppress. And they need to lower this raising vibration which is happening everywhere in the world. And another thing I also always make reference to is a lot of the revolutionary crazy commie lefties in years before, they had this phrase, the revolution will not be televised. It was like a thing, right? And again, I say the same thing now. You're not going to see a lot of these things officially accepted by mainstream media, and furthermore, we don't even have investigative journalism anymore, which is what I was making reference to before. So what do you end up with? Because there's a vacuum there. So what happens? You got all these people, you, me, everybody, seeing these things and reporting and sharing, and see, these tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists are the investigative journalists that we don't have anymore.
That's right. That's
That's exactly that
right.
We have had from time to time in different places, even though the media has been monopolized by a few for a long time. You always had some diamonds in the rough, let's say. So I think what's happening with a lot of these people who up until now have been more conditioned to be right or Christian or conservative or whatever, they're starting to go, hold on, man, there's some real shit going on here, and shit is going down. I mean, I've had some days during all this COVID crisis where I've been extremely depressed and concerned for the future, because it almost feel like that day that we've all been speaking about for such a long time is here. Now the upside to all of that is, and now I think it's always good to not to end on a positive thing like, let's just bullshit ourselves and everything's good, because the battle is still, the war is to be won, the battles are being won, but the war has to be won, and this thing has to be gotten over, and we've got to make sure that it never happens again. And that's why when people say, no, but we're going to go back in November, I'm like, no, motherfucker, we might go back in November, but we got to make sure that this never happens again. and the pedophile rings never happen again, and the banksters and all these fucking, you know, mafias and people that are running the world, you know, they need to get the fuck out, right? So
it's funny, like, sorry to interrupt.
No,
but it's just funny how people are like, oh, I can't believe the way the world's become. Dude, you actually.
It's been like that for a long time.
A
very long time. A very long time. A lot longer than even you and I know, my friend. But again, they're revealing themselves. So, but what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling and what is actually happening is there is a global awakening that had already begun a long time ago, but now it's happening en masse. It's coming off at the seams, you know, but it will not be televised, right?
Because who controls those avenues?
No, and their levers are in government and stuff as well. That's so it's still amazing for me to see. Like, I think the Victorian police chief or something came out last night, because, you know, those boys that they've been kind of running amok a bit and stuff. Power to them. I may not agree with everything they're doing or saying or acting, but bro, it's on. Like, we got to do something, right? And you know, and he comes the chief police, I think, of Victoria or whatever, some copper, and he come out saying, oh, you know, he's tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theories, rah. Well, look, I mean, if that's how they want to talk about potentially a massive chunk of the population, and thankfully ever growing chunk of the population, and much bigger than they even have, you know, have a real idea about, because I think, as Alan Jones has been saying, it is a silent majority. 100%. You know, but because I don't speak to everyone. I kind of stick to my circles. But when I venture out to shops and to this and even my pool cleaner and stuff, these people, everyone's thinking almost the same thing. Like, oh yeah, no. And then when you actually speak about it, they go, yeah, it's bullshit.